All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Terence Crawford says that Canelo Alvarez doesn't want any more parts of Bivol, and Canelo Alvarez is continue to avoid certain type of fighters, and he's just basically saying Canelo Alvarez is ducking. So, I'm gonna break it down to y'all. Let's talk about it in this video. King Jr. got another video for y'all. Please sure that you like and subscribe to the channel, and also share the video to get all your latest boxing news. And remember to hit that bell icon to always be notified when I release more news. With that being said, Terence Crawford basically says that Canelo Alvarez is ducking fighters, and he's definitely going to duck Bivol. He's not going to fight Bivol, whatever the case may be. And here's my take on the whole situation. I think that Canelo Alvarez has a lot of ground to make up after the loss against Dmitry Bivol. We know that Dmitry Bivol is a good fighter. He's no pushover whatsoever the case may be. And I was kind of disappointed in Canelo Alvarez that he's going back to fight Gennady Golovkin, because Gennady Golovkin was basically a guy that he simply basically outclassed, because Gennady Golovkin wasn't good. In my opinion, Gennady Golovkin was overrated. That HBO hyped up to be the next great thing, and turns out that they failed miserably. And you know, at the end of the day, I feel like that, you know, Canelo Alvarez needs to have basically a tune-up fight, at least one tune-up fight, in my opinion, in order to get his confidence back. Because we know Canelo Alvarez, you know, he was starting to lose focus, start to lose his confidence after the fight and stuff like that. He making up a lot of stuff, saying he won and excuses and stuff like that. Well, first of all, Canelo Alvarez, I'm a fan of you, but you just got outclassed by the better boxer within the Dmitry Bivol. And I feel like Gennady Golovkin is a perfect tune-up for Canelo Alvarez. I would like to see Canelo Alvarez knock Gennady Golovkin smooth out, because I'm tired of Gennady Golovkin. I'm ready for this dude to get out of the sport of boxing. For years, he ducked Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andre, and it was so bad at the point where that they actually went to one of his fights after he won, and he showed no interest in the fights with Demetrius Andre and Jermall Charlo. He wouldn't even fight Jaime Munguia, and Jaime Munguia is the biggest ducker in my opinion. Doesn't even want to fight the best of the best, and he wouldn't even fight Jaime Munguia. Gennady Golovkin was basically, his career was just basically built off Canelo Alvarez. The reason why he chased Canelo Alvarez because he found out how much he was getting paid against Canelo Alvarez. Then he got paid another big time. And then Gennady Golovkin was so damn cheap that he fired his trainer within Abel Sanchez because he wouldn't pay him the money. And so now Canelo Alvarez is about to give this damn bum another payday. And it makes absolutely no sense on why he's fighting Gennady Golovkin. I understand why he wants to fight Gennady Golovkin. He has proven himself somewhat because he's a unified champion at middleweight. And I feel like that he's going to retire Gennady Golovkin, and whatever the case may be, because I'm just sick and tired of Gennady Golovkin. Now, Terence Crawford got some points. I truly believe that Canelo Alvarez may not fight Dmitry Bivol. I don't think he's going to fight Dmitry Bivol, because you got guys like Roy Jones Jr. and a few other boxing opponents believes that Canelo Alvarez might not be able to win this fight against Dmitry Bivol. That's if he activates the rematch clause. So it was a smart move for Canelo Alvarez not to jump back in with Dmitry Bivol, because this time, if he gets outclassed and outschooled by Dmitry Bivol, it will be a very, very bad case. And, you know, it might have an effect on his career, and people might start overlooking Canelo Alvarez. Oh, man, he's not as great as we thought he was. So, whatever the case may be, I feel like that Canelo Alvarez, you know, he doesn't need to go up to 75. I feel like that 75 was a little bit too much for him. I just don't think that he has the advantages he had at the lower weight classes. I think he should keep the limit at 168. In my opinion, I think he should just defend those belts and keep it pushing. You know, fight David Benavidez, get him out of there. Fight Demetrius Andrade, get him out of there. Fight Jamal Charlo, get him out of there. You know, and reign at 168 pounds, because it makes no sense to go back up to 175 pounds and fight Dmitry Bivol, and you might have a high chance of losing that fight. Well, like Teddy Atlas says, he might not have a high chance of losing the fight because the judges were in cahoots with the scorecards, in my opinion, and stuff like that. And I feel like that Canelo Alvarez is going to have a lot of ground to make up. You know, he's just going to have to build his confidence back up and, you know, do the thing at the end of the day. And a lot of people feel like that him versus Gennady Golovkin, it will make for a big fight. And it will draw in a lot of money, and whatever the case may be. But Canelo Alvarez is going to have to get back into the groove and start calling these guys out and start fighting, because at the end of the day, people are still going to consider Canelo Alvarez not wanting to fight these guys and not give him an opportunity. And personally, in my opinion, I think Canelo Alvarez beat these guys, but he better watch out for David Benavidez, because David Benavidez is looking to be great, and people is starting to see him as the Mexican monster. And now people are going to start to favor David Benavidez more than you, Canelo Alvarez, because he, like his Mexican people, he represents Mexico very well. He's proud of his nationality, and he's looking to replace you. And if you still the king, and if you still that Mexican monster within Canelo Alvarez, I would simply get this dude David Benavidez out of here. I would make a statement that he isn't no Mexican monster. I'm the Mexican monster. So whatever the case may be with Canelo Alvarez, he can do and choose whatever whatever he wants to do in his career. That's up to what he does. But Canelo Alvarez is just simply going to have to start calling these guys out, because it's going to get to the point where these guys are just consistently going to start calling you out, or whether the case get into a mandatory position and you have no choice but to fight them. And this time, you know, going back up to 175 is not going to be a good example, because it looks like Bivol is going to be looking to wait for you again. And so since you find that 3-fight deal with the zone, you're going to have to probably jump back into the rematch with Dmitry Bivol or whoever puts an opponent in front of you, whatever the case may be. But Terence Crawford knows that Canelo Alvarez is not fighting the best opposition. He believes that Canelo Alvarez don't want to fight Bivol no more. Roy Jones said that Canelo Alvarez shouldn't fight Bivol no more because they believe that Bivol can beat him 10 out of 10. Now, I think Canelo Alvarez could make adjustments, but that's going to depend on Eddie Reynoso, because Eddie Reynoso is not a good trainer. He's a horrible trainer, in my opinion. He didn't tell Canelo Alvarez to make the adjustments he needed to make. And, you know, Eddie Reynoso just got comfortable with the money that Canelo Alvarez was paying him at the end of the day. That's just my opinion on the whole matter. But Terence Crawford believes that Canelo Alvarez is not going to fight these guys. He's not going to fight these guys at 68. He's going to continue to move around weight classes and stuff like that. I don't think that's the case. Whatever people say it is, most of it is facts. I ain't going to lie. It's a fact. Canelo Alvarez has been moving funny. But I think that Eddie Reynoso don't want Canelo Alvarez to have these big fights and have these really legacy fights, because at the end of the day, we're going to have to look at Canelo Alvarez. Okay, who he fought this guy. Okay, he fought these Hall of Famers, but what about these up-and-coming rising stars that he fight? And people's going to look like Canelo Alvarez has all the greatness and have all the legacy, but where are the names that the diehard boxing fans was calling for? So whatever the case may be, guys, you know, that's just my opinion on the whole situation. But Terence Crawford, you know, he just like saying this dude just not fighting nobody. And, you know, it's Terence Crawford at the end of the day. And Terence Crawford says, you know, a couple weeks back when Canelo Alvarez lost, he says, I'm the pound for pound king now. So I can't argue with that. Terence Crawford, in my opinion, is number one pound for pound, in my opinion, until he fights Errol Spence Jr. and might not win that fight. That's just my opinion on the whole situation. But with that being said, guys, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.